welcome to the 99 Percentile Club. I have over 9 years of teaching experience and I teach live on the Unacademy platform. In today's class, we are going to take up a very unique but amazing question from the chapter Linear Equations in Algebra. Let's get started. A person starts with X rupees and Y paisa. He spent rupees 8.40 and was left with 2y rupees and 2x paisa. If x less than 50 and y less than 100, what is the amount that is started with? Now pause the video, give it a try, get an answer, and then compare the solution that you have got to what we discussed in this video. Yes? Okay, so I hope you have paused the video, given it a try. So let's get started. A person starts with X rupees and Y paisa, right? And then they say he's spending 8.40 rupees. And in that case, he's left with 2Y rupees and 2X paisa. They're giving you a limit, upper limit for X, which is less than 50, upper limit for Y, which is less than 100. And what is the amount that is started with? Another typical CAT question, where this is just a one-liner, and many of you will probably take this up thinking that this is a sitter, right? You're going to take it up in the first few minutes. You're going to try this, but as you solve, it might be a possibility that you get stuck somewhere. So let's see what's so special about this question. So a person is starting with X rupees and Y paisa. So there are two things. There is a component called rupees, okay, and there is a component called paisa. Fine. So initially, you are starting with X rupees and Y paisa. And then they say you spend 8 rupees 40 paisa. So if I go to the rupees equation, it is x minus 8. I'm taking the rupees component out of the 8.40. And how much paisa did I spend? 0.40. So basically, y is the paisa. So how much paisa did I spend? 40. After doing this, you are left with 2y rupees. After doing this, you are left with 2y rupees and 2x paisa and 2x paisa. Correct? And they're asking what is the amount that is started with. So basically, remember, we said that you initially started with X rupees and Y paisa. So if you are able to determine the value of X and Y from these two equations, you should be good. What is it? Let's check this. So let's try to solve it. Let's try to solve this. Let's say this is equation 1 and let's say this is equation 2. Okay. You can substitute, put 1 in 2. You can just solve this equation however you want. Put 1 in equation 2. In equation 2. Correct? So can I get y minus 40 is equal to 2 times x. What is the value of x? Value of x from equation 1 is 2y plus 8. Value of x from equation 1 is 2y plus 8. So can I say y minus 40 is equal to 4y plus 16 or 3y is equal to minus 56. This implies y is equal to minus 56 by 3. But hold on. I mean, you might say y is minus 56 by 3. You can substitute the value of y, get the value of x. But is this possible? Is this possible? What is y? Y is the paisa. Can you start with negative 56 by 3 paisa? Can you start with negative 56 by 3 paisa? That's impossible, right? That's not possible. Meaning, the equations that we have written, something is wrong with those equations and hence you get this negative value. So something is wrong. What is wrong is the next question. Now think about it logically. Let's take an example. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a number, let's say 73 point, let's say rupees, just giving some random example, 73.24 is what you started with. Let's say, just giving an example, X rupees and Y paisa. Okay. So 73 rupees is X, 24 paisa is Y. And then they say you spend 8.4 rupees. You spend 8.4 rupees. Now think about it. If you subtract 24, okay, you have 24 and then you have a 40. Can you say 24 minus 40 is minus 16? Can you tell this like this? 24 minus 40, what we are doing is 24 minus 40. Remember that we framed two separate equations. we framed two separate equations. One equation was for this part 73 by 8. This is the rupees equation, and this is the paisa equation 24 minus 14. Can you say 24 minus 40 is minus 16? That would not be possible. That is not possible, right? Now, do you understand why are you getting a negative value? You are getting a negative value because the paisa that you initially started with is less than 40. The paisa component that you initially started with is less than 40. Now, what would you do in such a case? Let's take the same example. 73.24 minus 8.40. What did you do? It's a normal subtraction, right? It's a normal subtraction. So how would you subtract this? How would you subtract this? Think logically. For you to subtract this, 4 minus 0 is 4. But you know what? You can't do 2 minus 4. So what do? You are going to borrow a 1 from 3. You are going to borrow a 1. Borrow a 1 from where? Borrow a 1 from rupees. Borrow a 1 from the rupees component. So can I write it down? Borrow 1 from rupees component. From rupees component. From rupees component. And then you'll say 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. And then 12 minus 8 is 4. And then 64.84. You get it? So if you're getting a negative, it all means that you need to borrow a 1 from the rupees component. Now think about it. Can I rewrite the equations again? Can I rewrite the equations again? Let's try it again. Rupees, and then your paisa, and then your paisa. And now you're very well aware what you need to do. You can't have x from x. Remember, you started with x rupees and you started with y paisa. You need to borrow 1 from rupees. If you borrow 1 from rupees, what you basically have in rupees, instead of x, you would have x minus 1. Instead of x, you would have x minus 1. Why? Because you borrowed that 1 from rupees. And you know what? You spent 8 rupees. Remember, this is a rupees equation. So x minus 1. Why that minus 1 indicates that you are borrowing it to the paisa component. Minus 8, and you are left with 2y rupees. So this is gonna be your new equation for rupees now. What about paisa? Remember, paisa, you borrowed 1. You borrowed 1 rupee. If you are borrowing 1 rupee, okay, remember, another way you'll go wrong is if you write plus 1. It's not 1. You're borrowing 1 rupee, but 1 rupee is equivalent to 100 paisa. Remember? So it has to be plus 100 for the simple reason this is a paisa equation. So 1 rupee got to be 100 paisa. And this is a paisa equation, so you got to transfer it to paisa, right? And on this paisa, how much did you spend? You ended up spending 40 paisa, 40 paisa. So you'll say minus 40. This in turn is equal to 2x. This in turn is equal to 2x. Let's call it equation. It's all about you now solving these two equations. Let's start solving. Let's start solving. Probably you can put 3 in 4. You can put 3 in 4. Okay. So how much do you get in 3? How much do you have in 3? Y plus 100 minus 40. Plus 100 minus 40 is plus 60. Plus 60 is equal to 2 times x. What is x? Put it from equation 1. X is 2y, not equation, I'm sorry, equation 3. What is x? X is 2y minus x plus 9. What is x? So again, x is, what is x? X is 2y plus 9 from equation 3. 2y plus 9 from equation 3. So can I write this? This will become equal to y plus 60 is equal to 4y plus 18, or 3y is equal to 42, implies y is equal to 40. Y is equal to 14. If y is equal to 14, can you put it back in equation 3? Can you put it back in equation 3 and get the value of x? So x is equal to 2y, so 2 into 14 plus 9. So can I say x is equal to 28 plus 9? 37. 28 plus 9, 37. So question is, what is the amount that you started with? You started with x rupees and y paisa. So x rupees would mean 37 rupees and y paisa means 0.14 paisa. So that's your answer, 37.14. 37.14 is your answer. Brilliant question. One query which you still might have. Sir, how do I know before even solving equation 1 and 2 that I have to borrow 1 from the rupees component and add it to the paisa component? You will not know. So you will initially have to take up probably this, what we did on the left hand side. And in case you get a negative answer, if you get a correct positive answer, there is no two ways. Your answer is right. If you get a negative answer, you know what? You're going to think about the alternative scenario. And the alternative here is borrowing 1 from the rupees, adding it to the paisa, and getting your answer, and then cross verifying. You can check now. 37.14. If you subtract 8.40, so 30, you can cross verify your answer. You know what? You can cross verify your answer. 37.14. If you spend a minus 8.40, you will get 2y rupees and 2x paisa. It's a brilliant question. Yes, I hope there was a lot of learning in this class. Go back, try out this question once again all by yourself without looking at my solution, and hope you'll get it very easily. Thank you, folks. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I'm going to see you in my next session. Happy learning.